Where will Aaron Rodgers be playing football in 2023? Will he be a Green Bay Packer? Are his bags already packed? It certainly seems so to me. We're going to break down all of this, talk about the recent news relating to Aaron Rodgers. Tony Pollard had his surgery. All that and more, the Fantasy Football Show. It begins right now, pal.
You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasy.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is going on, good people? We have so much to talk about. 45 of you in here. Punch that thumb up button. Let's get that 10 number, that 10 thumb up number to match that 45. Let's hit the news desk.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
First of all, want to thank Ian for dropping the super chat. Smitty, I have film that will ruin Burrow's career. I will be sending it to teams this offseason, but for now, it is stored in my vault. I'm wondering what I need to do for you in order for you to hold back on this for a couple years, bro. So let me know what we can arrange. Rodgers, a Colt? I don't think so. Michael KCP, it's certainly an interesting prospect, but I don't see that in the cards, but you never know. I mean, anything's possible. DJ Meat Missile first in the building, danger. Raphael, Swaggy, Kwani, your boy Rick, Marty, appreciate you. Jarrett in the house. TMT, what's up, TMT? Appreciate you all being here. File on and Hot Prime, everybody's here. Payne's here. Payne, where you been? I feel like I haven't seen Payne in a while. Payne, Whoa. I haven't seen this name in quite some time, I feel. Payne, where you been, bro? Smitty to the moon. Thank you, Sam, dropping your 4-month anniversary message, being a YouTube exclusive member. Appreciate that. We also have Big Love dropping in, becoming a YouTube exclusive member as we speak.
To the moon.
Appreciate you doing that. Thanks so much. And if anybody else wants to become a YouTube exclusive member, I'm going to drop the link in the live chat and pin it right this very second. It gives you all these special emojis. It is a good time. I assure you, you will have a good time as a YouTube exclusive member. Let me see if I can drop this link real quick. Bear with me. Come on. There we go. All right, pin that there. There we go. So if you want to become a YouTube exclusive member, there it is. Let's get to the news. So Aaron Rodgers is probably on the move. I think we can all acknowledge that he doesn't want to be in Green Bay anymore. I think we can all acknowledge that he's a difficult personality, according to the majority of people. I love Aaron Rodgers. I've gone on rant after rant after rant talking about how I believe people are too hard on this man that's given his whole life to football. And granted, football is given back. It's not like it's a one-way relationship. He's fortunate. Football is fortunate. But why people refuse to allow this man to live his life the way he lives it, complain about him making money, complain about him in his comments, and somebody says something along the lines of, hey, A-Rod, do you think you could still play football? And in which he responds, Terry dropping his 8-month YouTube exclusive membership message, Smitty. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate you. And A-Rod merely responds to said question, hey, do you think you could still play at a high level? I think I can play. The highest. Could I win an MVP? Absolutely. And people complain. And they say things like, but Smitty, he should have said he wanted to win Super Bowls, not MVPs. Just picking at Aaron Rodgers' statements over and over and over. Who cares what he said? He was answering a question about his talent level. Stop. Let this man live. This man's given so much to us, and he keeps giving. And I love the content. I love the drama. I love the content. I'm a news show. This is fine for me. We go live when this man's going to make an announcement. If he tells me tells Fantasy Football and News Worlds or Pat McAfee, I'm coming out to announce what's going on. And granted, a lot of it has to do with the Green Bay Packers because they got to decide to trade him. So it's not the same as like, he might say I'm coming back. Like that announcement even. If he's going to say on Monday, I'm going to go on and announce something, or we hear he's going to go out and announce, we're doing a live stream. We're doing a graveyard, sleepless live stream where we don't go to sleep and we go live until the announcements had. We did it last year. I don't even care if there's no announcement like last year. It was fantastic. We're doing it. Adam Schefter does not believe that the Packers will trade Aaron Rodgers to an NFC team. Now, that's Adam Schefter's belief. It doesn't mean that is so. It doesn't mean that a offer won't come downstream that is so good that the team has to potentially look at making such a deal. So I wouldn't consider that the end all be all. I wouldn't consider that something that is concrete that the team is saying. Like this is a one man that's trying to predict things sometimes. These guys, Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport, mostly Adam Schefter, kind of step out of their lane. And it's not that they shouldn't be allowed to step out of their lane. Who am I to say Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport shouldn't have an opinion piece drop once or twice a week? That's not what I'm saying. But they cloudy up the lines between what is a factual report of theirs, because we've come to know them as factual reporters, and what is an opinion piece. So this is just his opinion. That's fine. But I firmly believe that, whatever the deal is, the deal is. Like, if a team comes along and offers the Green Bay Packers something they can't refuse and they're going to have problems, then they're going to accept a said deal. Maybe not in their own division, but just because they may not even be all that worried about winning in 2023 if they trade away Aaron Rodgers. So let's pull all the AFC teams on the board and start talking about the AFC team. We'll start off with the AFC North and East. So if Adam Schefter believes the Packers won't trade Aaron Rodgers to an NFC team, let's start going through them. Miami Dolphins, New York Football Jets, my two favorite and likely landing spots so far. Two of them are on the first list in the first division that we're analyzing, the AFC East. And if we take a look at we call this the Brady and A-Rod board, the Brady and A-Rod board shows us my number one landing spot's Miami. My number two landing spot is the Raiders, where apparently, we'll find out if you can go there. 1 second, we'll talk about that. The Jets are my number three landing spot. So far, so good for me. I have Aaron Rodgers first, most like destination, most logical, most probably productive as a Raider, playing with his former superstar wide receiver that he created, that he molded, that he sculpted. Yes, he still would have been a top 10 wide receiver most likely, but Devontae Adams would have never ascended to the level of play that he's currently playing at without the push and development given by Aaron Rodgers' tool. Like he tooled him. He tooled him, he sculpted him, he turned him into the player he is. And he amplified every single skill set that Adams had. Aaron Rodgers, Raider. Aaron Rodgers, Dolphin. Aaron Rodgers, Jet. But is it possible? Can it be done? Does a trade make sense? The cap increases. So I say yes. I say yes in most any scenario because you can always move money. You can always move money. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have control. Let me explain this. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have... Where's that question? Aaron Rodgers stay... Let's see, where is that? Does Aaron Rodgers... Here we go. Sam. Does Aaron Rodgers have control over where he goes? Directly, no. Indirectly, yes. Because if Aaron Rodgers says, I'm going to make this painful, I'm not going to come back, you guys want to get something value-wise for me, you want to trade me kind of where I want to go. If he doesn't want to go there, then a trade's not going to happen because he's not going to get traded to the, the Titans. Well, he might go to the Titans. You never know. Titans are always talked about as a potential landing spot for Aaron Rodgers. But, let's say he didn't want to go to, let me pick a team in the AFC. Texans. Let's just say the Texans said, we'll give you we'll give you 2 first rounders for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers could say, yeah, you send me to the Texans, I'm hanging it up. He has control. He almost has veto power. However, he doesn't have total control. He can't just say, send me here, because a deal has got to get done. But he definitely has some say, because if he doesn't want to play for a team that's trying to acquire him, they're not going to acquire him. He could pick up the phone and say, or he could spread a rumor by going on McAfee one time and going on, if I get traded to the Texans, I'm not playing for the Texans. I'm not playing for the Texans. Or the Titans. I'm not playing for the Titans. They're getting older. Things are changing. Derrick Henry's going to slow down soon. I mean, he might not know that, but you know what I'm talking about. Aaron Rodgers has some control. I would say my number one favorite landing spot, again, is the Dolphins for pretty much anybody. For Brady, for Lamar, for Aaron Rodgers. But so far, so good. So far, my 2 favorite landing spots are in the AFC East. So this report by Adam Schefter doesn't concern me at all. Doesn't concern me at all. And in fact, doesn't even matter, because once we get down to the AFC West, we find my second favorite location, but the third location that we have on the list. Wouldn't you know? In the AFC, as you all know, The Oakland Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders sit in third position in the division. A very tough division. Now, let me say this. I know a lot of people say Rodgers wouldn't want to go here. This is a very tough division. He's got a very, very tough path to the playoffs. He doesn't want to go here. He's got a very tough division, a very tough path to the NFL playoffs. He doesn't care. He's a diva, as everybody describes him. He's a overconfident, arrogant player that I absolutely love. Everything about it. I love Aaron Rodgers. I love his arrogance. I love his confidence. I want him on the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals, they're in the NFC. They can't trade for him, apparently, according to Adam Schefter, nor could a deal really get done because Jordan Love is where the Green Bay Packers want to turn to. And so a Kyler Murray-related trade, the Cardinals would have to trade Kyler Murray away to another team, then talk to Aaron Rodgers and say, Aaron Rodgers, now that Kyler's gone and we've got DeAndre Hopkins, we won't trade him if you come. We've got Hollywood Brown. We've got Rondell Moore. We've got the number, which hopefully they wouldn't trade the pick. We've got the number 3 overall draft pick. Who do you want? We'll bring in Bijan Robinson if you want, so you have an RB. We'll do whatever you want. Aaron Rodgers will probably entertain not saying no to an Arizona Cardinal move, but guess what? That's not going to happen. That's dream world for me. That's dream world. I don't like Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, to me, is not going to take my Arizona Cardinals to an NFL Super Bowl. I don't believe it. He's a crybaby, juice box Kyler. I don't see it happening. I dream for Aaron Rodgers to come to Arizona. I'd swap him and Kyler Murray straight up in a heartbeat, in a millisecond. Even if you told me, Smitty, we'll give you 1 year of Aaron Rodgers and he for sure retires. You got to trade us Kyler Murray and a future first rounder. I would say, where's the dotted line? I don't believe in Kyler Murray. I don't believe in Kyler Murray. I don't believe in Juicebox Kyler. He's returning from an ACL tear. The only problem is, to move Kyler Murray, the Cardinals either have to find a suitor and then get the capital or whatever they want and replace him. It's too hard. It's too hard. It's too hard to get a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now. So Kyler Murray stays. Kyler Murray stays. He's not the guy, but he stays. It's unfortunate. Maybe this new GM they brought into Arizona, gets things done. Maybe we hire DeMeco Ryans, we turn our defense around. Maybe somehow, some way, we're smart enough to draft Bijan Robinson. But I can tell you right now, my gut tells me my Cardinals will screw up drafting Bijan Robinson. They'll think 3's too high, like the majority of the public out there that doesn't understand this is a different generational running back. This is not your mom's NFL draft where the running backs go at 27, 28, 29. Smitty, haven't you watched football? This is in the comments all the time. This guy clearly doesn't watch football. Running backs don't go in the top 10. We know that, Bob. We're very, very aware of that, Bob. I've been doing this 20 years. I pretty much understand where a running back goes in today's NFL draft climate, Bob. I get it. But this is a special running back. If you've done any homework at all or spent any time delving into mock drafts for 2023, NFL mock drafts, not fantasy mock drafts, NFL mock drafts, you would know that Bijan Robinson is being mocked inside the top 4 to 12. And he's probably staying there. As long as his 40 time isn't botched, he will be going somewhere inside the top 3 if the Cardinals are smart. 3 to 12. He's different. He's generational. It will happen unless something crazy happens to his value, his draft value. If scouts start seeing something comes out, an injury or a horribly runs a 7-second 40 time. Only things like that can derail his top 12 overall value heading into the NFL draft. Bijan's worth number 3. If I was sitting at 1 and I couldn't trade down and I already had my future signal caller and I didn't need Young, I didn't need Stroud, I didn't need a quarterback, I wouldn't even hesitate because of how dumb it looked to draft Bijan. I'd take him 1 as a GM. He's that good. He's that generational. It's different. It's different. I think he could very well go 3. He could very well go 3. The Cardinals James Conner has been atop the league in rushing touchdowns over the last 2 years in that top class of touchdown scorers. He's been sitting, dancing, having a cup of coffee, sitting at the big boy table for rushing touchdowns. If you think Bijan wouldn't be good in this offense with a new coach, especially if D'Amico Ryans was lured in to clean up the defense, ball control, ground and pound, take the pressure off Kyler a little bit, let Kyler Murray hand the ball off if we're going to go ahead and try and go down the route with Kyler Murray. Maybe we can clean things up enough to win games. Maybe. I don't know that we win a championship with Kyler, but could we become a top 8 team? Could we be where the Cowboys were, losing in the divisional round? Yeah, I think the Cardinals could very much be Cowboys good. Top 8 team, loses in divisional round. That's where I see the Cardinals if we clean things up, if we retained Hopkins and didn't trade him away like the rumors suggest. I don't know how I got on a Cardinal tangent, but Aaron Rodgers was where I was going. I want Aaron Rodgers in a Cardinal uniform, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And some Bob in the comments is going to say, Smitty, you're crazy. The Cardinals are not trading. I know that. I know that, Bob. I want it. Doesn't mean what I want, what I see logical, doesn't mean it's going to happen. Aaron Rodgers would be phenomenal in an Arizona Cardinal uniform. If we spent the pick on Bijan, we figured it out, but it's not happening. It's not happening. The Cardinals aren't going to draft Bijan at 3. I'm pretty confident about it because they didn't draft Najee. They continue to pass on RBs. I wanted Javonte, Najee. They continue to pass on RBs when RBs fall right in their lap. Bijan at 3 is a gift. They're going to pass on it. Hopkins, why would you trade Hopkins? I don't care what Hopkins wants. This isn't the, what do you want? This isn't a where would you like to go game. This is a business. Why would you trade Hopkins? Why? Let me ask you a question. Hopkins played with who before Kyler? Deshaun Watson. How good was Deshaun Watson with Hopkins? Great. Why? Hopkins is one of the better single coverage wide receivers in the NFL, meaning he's going to lure in a lot of double teams, takes people off of spying or double teaming other players. It spreads the defense out. You've got to worry about where Watson's at. You've got to try and double team Hopkins. And Hopkins is one of, if not the number one wide receiver in the National Football League for navigating with this quarterback as his quarterback scrambles outside the pocket because he's a running quarterback. He's looking for his wide receiver. There he is, DeAndre Hopkins, adjusting, adapting, able to catch a jump ball and stretch out and pull in balls that other players can't. He is one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League still in terms of catching footballs from a scrambling quarterback. That's why Watson was so good. That's why the match between Kyler Murray and Hopkins was so amazing. Why would you trade Kyler Murray's most beneficial and important weapon? Because he's upset, because he wants to be traded. It's a dumb move by the Cardinals once again. If they do it, maybe the coach comes in, the new coach, and says, I don't care what's been being talked about. I don't care if Hopkins took us off his social media. I don't care if it's been said that if a player wants to be traded, he can be traded. Hopefully this new GM and this incoming inbound coach the Cardinals acquire say, no, you're not going anywhere, Hopkins. Sorry. But my prediction is they trade Hopkins to the Chicago Bears. Why? Justin Fields. Why? Mobile quarterback. Why? Hopkins is a specialist in catching footballs from mobile quarterbacks. It only makes sense for the Chicago Bears. And they'll probably get him dirt cheap where we scratch our heads and say, why? Why? What do we get? What do we get out of this at the end of the day? Hopkins is a phenomenal player, a phenomenal piece to the offense. It stretches a defense out. He clogs up that defense, the opposing defense that has to worry about double teaming him. And if they don't double team him, good. Hopkins would be phenomenal to keep. Back to A-Rod. I got off on a crazy tangent because I want A-Rod on the Cardinals so bad. I wanted to at least voice my opinion that's not going to end up being, nothing's going to happen as I described. Or everything negative will happen as I described, because the Cardinals are the Cardinals at this point until they can prove me wrong. Until they can prove me wrong and do some things right. this news right here, Adam Schefter saying, if it's true, let's say it's true. Let's say it ends up being true. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. NFC, we don't need Rodgers to go to the NFC. We don't need Rodgers to go to the NFC. We've got the Brady and A-Rod board. Miami, Jets, Raiders. All AFC, all my top 3 choices. I'm not worried about this news whatsoever. So the news is fine by Ian Rappaport. So let's shrink that down and put that over in the corner. This right here is another piece of news. This right here describes Aaron Rodgers' contract. The Packers baked this into the contract. $58.3 million of Aaron Rodgers' $59.515 million in 2023 cash is structured as an option bonus. So once their option is exercised, his cap number this year would only be about $31.6 million. Rodgers would collect $58.3 million by September 3rd. This is a good news in a way, considering how big the contract was. This is good news in terms of, okay, is he movable? What's that look like? And that's why you're not hearing a lot of, it's going to be really hard to get this contract. Like teams, this can happen. It can happen. There's a lot of things that can happen. The salary cap increase. There's so much that ends up going into a trade like this, and it's all lining up to where it's a possibility. There's no hurdles that are unnavigatable, you know. So expect an Aaron Rodgers trade to ultimately happen. If you ask me, I don't feel like this is going to be one of those situations, and it could. The news could shift. Things always shift, right? The news could shift, and we could end up. So real quickly, let's go over the teams in the AFC. If this is true, if what Schefter said is true, KC not interested. Chargers not interested. Raiders yes, and we'll put a check mark by not just the teams I love, but the teams that are a possibility for an Aaron Rodgers acquisition. Okay, so we're gonna put that on the screen here. We're gonna do one after the other. Let's see here. So we'll go Raiders, definitely a possibility. Broncos, no. Bills, no. Dolphins, absolutely. Patriots, I mean, no, but the Jets, yes. So of the AFC East and AFC West, only the 3 teams I want them to go to are the top 3 teams. There's no like ambiguous bad landing spot for them there. Patriots, this news here is interesting. And everybody's talking about Mac Jones. Bill O'Brien was back in the building yesterday for a second interview and now joins the staff, formalizing long-held plans. This is a good day for Mac Jones. Probably, or, I mean, I'm just kicking this out into the abyss here, but is it for sure Mac Jones? Is it for sure Mac Jones? We hear rumors, and I'm not saying they're true. I'm not saying they're likely. We hear rumors all the time about would Brady return to New England? Would Brady, if he doesn't get what he wants, doesn't get at all what he wants, would he maybe contemplate a New England landing spot again? Would he go back and win? Would he pull return to his whole hometown, win another championship? That would be impressive. That would almost be, honestly, I'm not saying it's happening. I'm not saying this is on you don't see it on my Brady board or my Aaron Rodgers board. But I'm just saying anything can happen. This is the NFL. This is the NFL. This is the NFL where Tyreek Hill was traded last offseason, something nobody expected. This is the NFL where Adams chose to play with Derek Carr, his buddy, over play with Aaron Rodgers. This is the NFL. Don't come into the chat and say that can't happen. You don't know that. You don't know what can happen. You don't know what's going on in Aaron Rodgers' mind, or Tom Brady's mind, or Lamar Jackson's mind, or Lamar Jackson's mom's mind, because she's in charge of Lamar Jackson's contract. We need to get Mrs. Jackson on the phone here and ask her where her client is headed in 2023, because Lamar Jackson's mom is his agent. He doesn't have an agent. And maybe she's doing what my mom did when I was younger. My mom, I told you guys yesterday, my mom walked into a Fry's Food and Drug I don't know if you guys all have Fry's in your location. Fry's Food and Drug. I think it was called like something else back in the day. She walked in and returned a year-old piece of meat that was in the fridge. In the fridge, not the freezer, the fridge. Year-old piece of meat. Or is in the freezer for half the time, or I forget the whole story. She walked in when I was about 8, 9 years old, returned a year-old piece of meat to a manager that looked at her like she was crazy when she walked in the door. By the time she was done ignoring everything he said, ma'am, you can't return it just tastes funny. She had chewed up pieces of the meat, I think it was steak, chewed up pieces in a little napkin inside the bag with the cooked steak, and she's asking him to try a piece of meat she's chewed on. And she says, my mom, Miss Smitty, says, take a bite. He's like, ma'am, you can't return a year-old piece of meat. It tastes funny. Ma'am, listen to it. It's got a strange zing to it. And ma'am, it's a year old. You can't. And if you just take a bite, after about 20, 30 minutes of arguing with this woman, said my mom, he gave up. Maybe Mrs. Jackson is the right person for the job. Maybe Lamar Jackson. Can we drop some meat emojis in the live stream? Some steak emojis, please, for my mom. This woman returned a year-old piece of meat. Don't tell me something's not possible. I don't want to hear anybody say something's not possible. Hey, Smitty. Tom Brady going back to New England's not possible. My mom returned a year-old piece of meat. Hey, Smitty, I can't make this trade. How did my mother return a year-old piece of meat? Drop a meat emoji. There's a strange zing to it. Yeah, it's called mold, mildew, year-old sediment, fermentation. Usually has a little bit of a zing to it, is what the guy was trying to tell her. And she's like, it just doesn't. Ma'am, it's going to taste like crap because it's a year old. You can't put a year-old piece of meat into the fridge for half a year and then come try. Yeah, it's just, if you taste it. All right, give her money back. She probably got back a different amount too. Probably got double the price back. This woman. Meat emojis are getting dropped like fire. Attaboy. Broskies and girlskies. Appreciate you. Okay, so let's get on over to the AFC North. A little zing to it. Just a little pep. I got a little pep in my step after I took a bite. Ravens, depends. You know, I don't think they're a probable landing spot, but like they could have a quarterback opening. Bengals, obviously. No, Joe Burrow, Steelers, no, they're not ready. They're taking the Pickett. They're gonna go down the Pickett road. No, there's nobody here. There's no one in the AFC North except for maybe a job opening, which I can't even leave this here because it's not open now. And who knows if they would even go that route, you know, if for any reason, you know, they did trade Lamar Jackson, who I believe is also very strongly going to be on the move. Very, very strong possibility of being on the move. And then if we go to the so let me put that back up. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take the NFC or the AFC North off. AFC South. Texans. I mean, they're a possible landing spot, so I don't know if we should put this here to suggest that it is a possible landing spot. There's essentially an opening. Colts, there's an opening. This division blows, except for the Jaguars. Jaguars are going to cakewalk into the playoffs every year. So all these spots are possibilities in terms of job opening, but they're not going to be places that Aaron Rodgers is going to accept a trade to. So if going back to the where is it? Going back to the Schefter, or no, where is it? I have it somewhere. The Ian Rappaport. Oh no, here it is. Yeah, Schefter. Going back to the Schefter news. Oh, it's already on my screen. Schefter news. He doesn't believe the Packers will trade Aaron Rodgers to an NFC team. I've mapped it out for you. Here it is. If you're wondering where he could go, I get asked all the time, Smitty, where do you think he could go? I've just showed you. If this is true, I've just showed you. The only possibilities are Potentially the Ravens if a whole lot of things happen at the right timing and everything, which is not likely. So Ravens are not being highlighted. Nobody from the AFC North. Nobody from the AFC West but the Raiders. Nobody from the the Dolphins and the Jets from the AFC East. And then obviously not the Bills. Patriots, probably not. And then over in the AFC South, everyone but the Jaguars. These are the only landing spots. If this is to be true, here it is. 6 landing spots for Aaron Rodgers. And guess what? This team's not aggressive enough, the Titans, to go get him. They're not even ready to win. The Colts are in shambles. They're not going to go trade for Aaron Rodgers and get older at the position. They're probably going to try and rebuild. Texans have been in rebuild mode for over a year, year and a half, 2 years. They're not going toward an older quarterback. They're not ready to win. These locations are out. I'm going to take them off the board. They're not even realistic from the team perspective, let alone Aaron Rodgers accepting it perspective. So the 3 landing spots, the only 3 landing spots are the exact 3 top landing spots, meaning Aaron Rodgers will be a Raider, or he will be a Dolphin, or he will be a New York Jet. Have I not said that's going to happen anyway?
To the moon.
I mean, honestly, it's what we've been saying the entire time, and it will be true. Aaron Rodgers will be a Las Vegas Raider, or he will be a Miami Dolphin, or he will be a New York Jet. And we're all going to relish in that fact because why? We've already said Moon Man number 7.
The Moon Men. Dropping loads in outer space.
I give you the Moon Men 2023 so far.
Space Monsters.
Space Monsters indeed. And who do I have sitting right here? The Miami Dolphin quarterback, which in my opinion, 33.333, if we just call it a day, odds that it's Aaron Rodgers, which means that you have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle to the absolute moon, Aaron Rodgers to the moon. This could obviously be Lamar or it could be Tom Brady. It's going to be one of the 3. I don't think Miami Mike is going to dare put his future on the line using Tua as his quarterback and gunslinger. If Aaron Rodgers ends up a New York football Jet, we've got 2 gentlemen on the board right here. We have a guy named Zach Wilson and a guy named Breece Hall, both of which would be headed to the moon. They're already moon men, but they might be Mars men the moment Aaron Rodgers is announced the quarterback for the New York football Jets. And we don't have any Raiders on here, but Adams is not really moon man capable because he's already getting drafted right where he should be getting drafted. I don't think it would do anybody any good to put a guy on here that isn't going to benefit you any way, shape, or form. And you might get somebody that says this to me. Where's my my megaphone here? You might get somebody that says, "But Smitty, how does an unknown quarterback from Miami help us on the Moonman list?" Because it's almost like an inverse Moonman prediction. The fact that you have a chance to go get Tyreek Hill and go get Jalen Waddle and potentially have an undervalued Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, because there will be doubters. There will be people that say right now, Brady's done. Brady's done. Even if he goes to Miami, Brady's done. Brady's done. He will still be a value in Miami. He will still be a value. Yes, his value will go up. He'll certainly go up 1, 2, 3 rounds, potentially an ADP value. So trading preemptively for Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady while there's a gamble because you don't know where they're going. Las Vegas, New York Jets. Where will they go? Las Vegas. You don't know. But I feel very, very, very confident that Aaron Rodgers is headed to one of the 3 locations. I feel very, very confident that Tom Brady, who gets to choose where he wants to go, and all 3 of the teams are going to absolutely love the idea entertaining Tom Brady coming in and commanding their team. I pretty much feel that Lamar Jackson's the only wild card that we can't control because the Ravens may not want to tag and trade him. So therefore, Aaron Rodgers feels on the move. The team's very willing to trade Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers does nothing but talk about where he could potentially go and how good he still is. I love it all, by the way. I love it all. I love Aaron Rodgers. And Rodgers feels like he's on the move. However, I thought this last year, he pulled back at the last second. He he stayed in Green Bay. He didn't even have Devontae Adams, and he shocked everybody. That still could happen. It's still in the cards. There's still potential, but I strongly, strongly believe in my gut we will see Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady in one of the 3 locations that your boy Smitty has mapped out on the Brady board, the Brady and Aaron Rodgers board, right here. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, on the Brady board. Ow! That hurt. I smacked myself so hard with that mic. How we looking? How we looking? Jeez. Lights out. Talk about a headache. Instant headache. Where's my drink? Let me get some caffeine in this mug. Concussion. What's up, Electro? What's up, Michael? Michael's celebrating his 3-year anniversary with an Aaron Rodgers to Commanders. Washington is a thought, but again, they're not in the cards according to Ian Rappaport because they're an NFC team. Tough to imagine a trade like that going down. You know what I'm saying? Could maybe out 6 months with a back injury now out for the season with the concussion. Bro, is it red? It's a little red. A little red. I smacked my head, so I think I hit my head so hard on this I turned the volume down. Or up. I turned the volume up. Let's switch it over real quick. I don't know. Let's just get the mic away. Get out of here. Get out of here. Where am I? Let's see if I passed the concussion protocol.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
I think I'm good. I think I passed the concussion protocol. But I literally smacked my head against that sucker extremely hard. Like that rattled me. That rattled me. I hit it hard. You guys see Smitty injure his back on that mic? I didn't yet, but I definitely almost knocked myself out. Rodgers to New Orleans or Carolina before Washington. But again, I mean, I think I'm not saying that Ian Rappaport or Schefter is correct, but Schefter's saying probably not going to an NFC team. So that rules out the Panthers, rules out the Saints, rules out Washington Commanders. It rules out a lot of teams potentially that are in the NFC. If true, again, I don't know if they don't know for sure that the Packers would turn down the right deal, but if it is true, and it sometimes makes sense, when people start talking about that, especially like you're not going interdivision, right? You're not trading him to the Lions or something like that. But in the same conference, a lot of times it doesn't happen, but sometimes it does. It's not unheard of, but it wouldn't be crazy to think, not to mention that the top 3 suitors are in the AFC, so it's fine. It's fine. JT says, hard to tell you're always act concussed. Thank you, JT. Appreciate that. I take pride in that because I am not your average show. I'm not your cookie cutter show, and I very much take pride in that. I dropped my top 10 running back ranking videos. There's 3 parts to them, 1, 2, 3. Part 1 has the top 2 running backs. Part 2 has 3, 4, 5, and part 3 has 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Like I talk about like 18 running backs at that and the end. But I've got a lot of you can't possibly have this guy and that guy in your top 10, Smitty. That's crazy. No, I do. The same way we had Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall higher than everybody else in the world, and how'd that turn out? So, you could say what you want about, hey, Smitty, that's crazy or whatever, but this is a prediction business. I'm not asking anybody to go against their gut. I'm not asking anybody to doubt Austin Eckler the way that I'm doubting him to the level I'm doubting him, but also with the caution of you've got to draft him at a certain point. Like if he was to fall late into round 1, his trade value is enormous, and he's not going to fall off the face of the earth in week 1. He's going to fall off the face of the earth at some point during the season, in my opinion. And so drafting Eckler is still not bad. You just got to trade him in time. You got to do what I said to do with Derrick Henry the year prior when Henry got hurt. Trade him by midseason, and that ended up working out. Now, Henry came back the next year and proved me wrong, sure. And Eckler and Henry could prove me wrong yet again this year, but the odds are more likely against it than for it. So I'd rather go a safer route, and trading a guy like Eckler away, it makes a whole lot of sense. If you draft him, take advantage of his value that he most certainly will have in weeks 1, 2, 3, 4. But at midseason on, I would start to panic and worry about a 28-year-old running back that's got constant injury, nagging issues, and has the frame of an Austin Eckler, regardless of how strong he is and productive he's been and all that. On top of the fact that the team's kind of in shambles, we don't know what's up with that. I'm just in total avoid mode unless he falls to a good value. Then I'm in buy mode, but I'm selling the man. I got to trade him now. He's damaged. I'm okay. I'll bounce back from this injury, this concussion. Don't you worry. Thank you for your concern, everybody, on the concussive state that I might be in currently. Tony Pollard underwent surgery on his fractured fibula, and he should be ready for training camp. Let's give Tony Pollard a round of applause.
Mashed potatoes!
We wish you nothing but the best, Tony Pollard. We hope you have a strong and speedy and fast and aggressive recovery, and you get back stronger than ever. Let's open up the phone lines.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
And I do want to thank my super chatter of the day so far, Ian. Ian so far is the top super chatter of the day with a $5 hauler. Ian, top super chatter of the day. Top super. Thank you, Ian. I'm gonna leave that person on the board the entire show. Let's see if anybody knocks Ian off. Let's just put it that way. Ian, I'm sorry if you get bumped off quickly. Sam dropping we'll put Sam here. Sam Tidham. Sam says, from a non-fantasy perspective, if you're a GM for the Cowboys, what will you do to improve the team to contend for a Super Bowl? Start using Tony Pollard if you end up getting in a position to retain him again. He's going to want to test free agency. I have a feeling with the injury coupled with the lack of job openings in the NFL, coupled with the fact that rookies are so cheap and the fact that rookies are plentiful in this 2023 NFL draft, and teams will probably be a little bit more comfortable banking on because both are going to be a risk. Pollard's not a guarantee. We see him being an absolute, menace for defenses in a lot of situations. We know what time it is when it comes to Tony Pollard. But I don't know that other teams feel the same way we do. And then you couple the injury with the cost of what Pollard's going to command or what he thinks he's going to get in free agency against a cheap rookie running back in the deepest running back pool we've seen in a long time. There's a Moon Man I'm probably going to drop tomorrow, or I know I'm dropping him way too early. We haven't even hit February. It is January 24, and I'm about to drop Moon Man, number 9?
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Yeah, so this next Moon Man will be Moon Man number 9.
Space Moon
I've got 2 Moon Men already decided. I've got 2 Moon Men already decided. We'll probably have both of them drop before February 1st. I don't want to go too deep on the Moon Man. I want this to be an important list, but I think we can squeeze in this will be 9. So we'll have 9, 10 drop before February. That gives us maybe 8 more Moon Men. I think 15 to 18 is a good number. It's not too many. To where it doesn't become a valuable list. I think it's important to keep the number down. Last year's Moon Man list was...
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space. The moon men.
1,
Dropping
2,
loads
3,
in
4,
outer
5,
space.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Space Monsters.
So we had 15 moon men last year. Did not feel like too many. I think we could go 18 and we'd feel fine. We also had the Mars men list. We also had the Mars men list where we could send some of the moon men and take them off the moon man list. I don't know if I want to do that yet.
The moon men. Dropping loads
Because
in outer space.
I love I love keeping this historically correct, and if we slide Bijan off
Space Monsters.
or something like that, because
He's on a shuttle to Mars.
because
Mars man.
Bijan is the first Mars man. If we move him from
Loads dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
if we move him away from the moon man list, then it's like we don't feel. I just don't want to take anybody off. I think Mars men will only be the graduated moon men that are so good on the moon men list. We're so confident we're going to put them on the Mars list as a way of like isolating the top 5 of the moon men. You know what I'm saying? Like, or maybe we go for another guy. Maybe, maybe what I maybe do?
The moon men. Dropping loads in outer space.
There's a couple players that are tough to,
Space Monsters.
like, I've got a couple guys that are like, it's tough to, there's some tough argument to be a moon man, because they're already good and all that. So maybe that could be a Mars man that doesn't have to touch the moon man list too, and that could kind of save us having an extra spot. Like, for example, Joe Burrow is a Mars man.
He's
Actually,
on a shuttle to Mars.
we're gonna do that now
Mars man.
because we're higher on Joe Burrow than anybody.
Loads dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
We're higher on Joe Burrow than anybody on the planet. We've been higher on him than anybody on the planet. There's nothing wrong with having him on the Mars man list. We know he's a Mars man. Everybody's starting to get on board, but that's okay. Burrow is who he is. He is a commander-in-chief of fantasy football. He's QB1. I think we still have bold enough comments on Burrow and predictions that it's okay to have him on this list and not have him on the Moon Man list. I think this makes a lot of sense. Jamar Chase, a Mars man. God, what are we doing? We're creating 2 Mars men on the fly. 2 Mars men on the fly. Let's put Jamar Chase on this as well, because we're going to be talking about the stack a lot this offseason. So this makes a lot of sense, because then they don't have to touch the Moon Man list. They're too good to be on the Moon Man list anyway. So this is the Mars Man list so far. There are 2 more, maybe 3 more spots. So let's go ahead and rerun this from the top. Okay, so we're having a normal conversation. Oh, somebody mentioned the Mars Man, huh?
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars man. Loads dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
God, that looks like the best Mars, the new tripod. It might be. That looks like the best trio right now to me. Can you imagine landing this in a draft? Like, think about it for a second. You're God, why is everything, every time I turn a camera, I mess with a camera, I have to have everything get reset. It's just so annoying. Okay, so let's go to this right here. No, let's go to this. Let's add this right here. Boom. Perfect. Okay. So we still only have Ian and Sam as the top super chatters, huh? Ian and Sam. Terry Roberts with a $2 haul. Terry, appreciate you. Terry says Jerry hates Pollard. Pollard needs a trade, Smitty. It's not a trade. He's free to go wherever he wants, Terry. So he's a free agent. So he doesn't even need to worry about the trade. So don't you worry. Pollard's going to go test free agency. Cameras fine, Smitty. You must be confused. I'm not sure. Maybe. So here's what I think is ultimately the best looking team and start fantasy football. Now, Bijan Robinson's going to climb into the second and first round eventually in redraft. Mark my words. Is there a possibility that Bijan could go here initially? I think so. So if you got this, you got the number 1 pick overall. Let's say you take Burrow here, and you take Chase here at 1, and you could even move Chase down, that Chase pick down slightly, and move this pick up slightly or this pick up slightly in order to get Bijan. But can you imagine drafting the Mars men with your first 3 picks? Your first 3 picks in your draft. Your first 3 picks in your draft are Mars men. Jamar Chase, round 1. Joe Burrow, round 2. Bijan Robinson, round 3. Or you trade Chase down to 3 or 4, that pick there, to move the Bijan pick up here to make sure you can get Bijan. Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Break. Does anybody not see this as one of the most amazing looking beginnings to your draft?
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men. Loads dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
Imagine drafting these 3 field generals. These fantasy bosses as your first 3 picks. It just looking at this Marsman list looks phenomenal. I'm gonna be dropping a video on this. I'm gonna be Chase round 1 risky. Chase round 1 risky. Terry, what do you mean? Chase round 1 risky. Terry, he ain't risky. He's gonna be everyone's number 1 wide receiver. I think a lot of people still say JJ, but he's going in the top 1 to 4. We don't have any Uranus men yet.
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
If I had to put a planet Uranus player up right now, like if I had to pick somebody, man, this would be tough. This would be tough to come up with a planet Uranus player on the spot. I'm gonna probably say, God, I almost want to put Kyler on it. I hate to say it. And you know, like I don't know that I'm gonna put like Henry and Eckler on this Uranus list, because the Uranus list is a complete bust. Henry and Eckler won't bust per start in the beginning of the year. It's just at some point injury is going to get the best of them, and they're going to slow down to a crawl. So they're not qualifying as like a bust because they're bad. A qualification would be like last year's, Fournette. Fournette's already a bust, so we can't even put Fournette on here. But this would be an example of a planet Uranus player. Would be like Lenny. Let me see. I'd probably say Alvin Kamara could be. Dalvin Cook could end up being a total bust. I think Dalvin Cook might be a potential planet Uranus bust here candidate. I'm going to take Fournette off because we already know he's not a concern. I would say Dalvin Cook is potentially planet Uranus number 1. He's probably going to be the leader of that shuttle to planet Uranus. I think, God, Swift's tempting to be a breakout and a planet Uranus candidate. I think Swift's going to... We might have Swift on the bold predictions and the planet Uranus list, just so we get it right. Because does Swift belong? Is he king? Is he now the ruler of planet Uranus? I don't even know. I don't even know how I feel about Swift right now. I love his talent, but he's a total disappointment, and the way they decide to use him is even more disappointing. I love the Lions. I love the ability that St. Brown has in this offense, but at the same time, I'm so disappointed in how they use him. It makes me feel like the Lions are part planet Uranus because they don't give him the proper amount of work or try and feed him. Now, granted, he's been getting hurt, but at the same time, the last month and a half, he wasn't banged up to the point where they couldn't use him. They just decided not to use him. And so this guy might be planet Uranus. Maybe we'll start off with planet Uranus leaders being Deshaun Watson and Dalvin Cook. Feels like a good trio. Whoa.
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
We'll start off with those two gentlemen so far. I don't know if they'll stay. Tua might not even be a starter. We don't really know what's fully in store for him, so I don't know if he would be a candidate yet. I think people will expect a lot out of these two.
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
God, I have to say, guys, I don't mean to sound arrogant about our picks so far, but this right here even feels like gold. This feels like absolute straight fire.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men.
Imagine.
Loads dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
Look at them. Look at all three of them. Imagine getting these three gentlemen. With your first, second, and third round picks. I'm making a video on this. This is probably right now my favorite draft strategy. I'm going to have to give you some draft pick trading tips in conjunction with this video because it's going to be hard to get Bijan here, maybe early on, but you could certainly trade this pick up by moving this pick down. If you're handed and gifted the one pick overall and people think you're crazy anyway for drafting Jamar Chase at number 1, goodness gracious, the fact that you could trade this down because people think you're crazy drafting Jamar Chase at 1 overall, we can move him down to 4 very safely, move the Bijan pick into about right this territory here, take Burrow and Bijan here and here, take Jamar Chase right here, gold, straight gold. This right here, I'm getting so amped up about this Mars man list we created on the fly. We had nobody sitting on it until right now except for Bijan. Now we've got the best strategy in fantasy football 2023 staring us in the face in the form of the Mars man list.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men. Loads dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
Am I wrong? Can I get an amen on this? Dude, am I speaking facts? Or did the microphone knock me unconscious and I'm suffering from concussive symptoms? This right here feels like the best draft strategy on the table for 2023. Chase, Burrow, Bijan. Goodness gracious. I'm running. I want to run to my drafts right now. I want to run to my redraft drafts and say, let's draft right now. Let's draft. Let's move the draft forward to today or tomorrow. So I don't see this Bijan ranking climb all the way to here. Mark my words. You will not be able to draft. Here's perfect. Who's this? It's always somebody we don't recognize. No offense, bro. If you're new, I'm super glad you're here. I don't want you to take offense to this. But it's always somebody we don't recognize that comes in and says something that's totally against the show's standards, the show's hardcore belief. The show's rooted in Bijan Robinson, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Hall, Walker, now Gibbs and Charbonnet, just completely rooted. Like you're here, the roots are growing all over you. You are on board Charbonnet if you're here. You're on board Bijan if you're here. But it's always a new person, which we're going to get you here, Gar. We're going to get you here. We're going to get you on board the Bijan train. You're going to come back and say, Smitty, he's growing on me. I watch more film. You're right. But it's always someone new that says something like this, which is fine. We love differing opinions. Why I love this comment, why this is my favorite comment of the entire day, is because it shows us it's still possible. If it wasn't possible to get Bijan here or maybe right here, if we trade this pick up right here and we move this pick down to get that trade up, if it wasn't possible, we wouldn't see Gar out here, who I love. God bless him. He's doing us a service. Gar, let's standing ovation for Gar. Gar, I want nothing but thumbs up, fire emojis for Gar for the next 30 seconds. Make it rain. Gar is our hero of the day. Why? Because he's making it possible. I promise you, look into my glasses. I promise you, Bijan Robinson will only climb. There's no way on earth you're going to get Bijan anywhere close to the value that you see right here. Bijan will only climb. This is impossible to get in July. This is impossible to probably get in June. This is absolutely impossible to even get two of these guys with these draft picks probably in August. Burrow, you won't get Burrow at 24 overall. If he wins a Super Bowl too, you're going to see Burrow climb to like 14 or 15 overall in even the layman world. Okay? In a Bob world. Look at all the fire emojis. Gar, look what you did. Gar, we appreciate you. Gar, you are doing us a service. And keep doubting Bijan. Keep telling all your friends. And I don't mean that in a negative way. We need enough doubt to keep Bijan down. We've planted Gar. Gar is a Trojan horse we've set into the fantasy football community so we can continue to clean up and get Bijan as late as possible for as long as possible. And I beg you, my followers, my soldiers, my beautiful people, don't go into mock drafts and drive Bijan's redraft value into 1.7 unnecessarily and ruin it all for all of us, including you. You have an obligation, you have a responsibility to not take away the opportunity to do something like this because you want to take Bijan and your silly little mock draft that we do and be the guy that owns him, and your team looks very light because you're drafting Bijan at 7 and now you don't have the depth. Don't ruin Bijan's ADP. We can get this done if we bind together, lock arms, let Gar go do our work for us. Gar, spread it like an infection, like it's like you're a walker, bro. Just go out and start getting everybody on board. You're on this Bijan's overrated train. I promise you, you will never see Bijan more cheap than he is right now. The 1.1 rookie pick, rookie players, the values always go up every single day you move toward the NFL draft. The 1.1 Bijan Robinson and the pick itself, the value only increases every single day you move an inch toward the NFL draft. The value will only get better and better of Bijan as you exit the NFL draft and head toward August. This is the cheapest. People don't know who he is yet. Not everybody does. You might seem surprised by that. There are a lot of layman's and magazine drafters around in fantasy football that are dragging his ADP down. It's all a trickle effect. It's a cobweb getting thrown on this and that, all pulled by every single movement in fantasy football. And if there's 4 people out of 12 on average that don't really know what Bijan's capable of yet, no offense, Gar, but there are people that just don't know yet. They haven't been digging into it. They're not watching a lot of film. They're not consuming a lot of content yet. And so that trickles down into the ADP. The ADP trickles down into the reaction of the guy that does believe. It's all a trickle effect and connected. And so once the doubters start to get on board, the ADP rises, the people that do believe react even higher, and it continues to climb. Bijan will be a top 8 to 10 pick, top 8 to 12 pick, almost guaranteed, walking into August and September drafts. He will be a borderline second, third turn player until then, for as long as we allow it. Be responsible, mock draft safely, don't ruin it for everyone. Don't ruin it for everyone. What a day. What a day. What a show. What a show. 29 yards against TCU, my guy says. Not to be a Debbie Downer. Oh, what's this going to be? Let's see what Ty Lee says. Not to be a Debbie Downer or Sad Sammy or whatever you want to call it. This is Ty Lee. I can tell by the punctuation and spelling. If Bijan gets drafted to the Panthers, I think that would bring his value down. Never say never. Ty Lee, as long as you don't have footage of this man that can tear him down, I think we'll be okay. I think he'd be fine wherever he goes. But Ty Lee, I appreciate you coming in with the knowledge. What are we doing here? All right, guys. Man, that was a good rant. good rant. I feel like that rant was pretty good. And as Slat says, I mean, look, the Panthers have been running the ball pretty decently. So worst case scenario, that would be the best scenario. I'm going to admit. Like, I don't want him to go. Here's the NFL draft order in which Bijan is most certainly going in the top 12. If God, can you imagine the Eagles missing him by one pick? I hope the Eagles trade up or something to get Bijan. But like, Falcons and Panthers would be the least attractive of the top 10 overall potential landing spots. Who's drafting at 11 and 13? Maybe we should just extend this. NFL draft order 2023. I want to put it all on here. God, this show felt good today. We got so much done. The fact that we have
The Moon Men.
This amazing list.
Dropping low.
And then
on a shuttle tomorrow.
On the fly, we created the first 3 Mars men of 6. I think we'll put 6 on here.
Dropping and spinning aims.
And created the best draft strategy known to man walking into 2023 with this bad boy right here. The Chase in round 1, the Burrow in round 2, the Bijan in round 3, even if you've got a trade. Like, I'm doing a video on this. This is the winning draft strategy right here. This is Kenneth Walker in round 9, 10, 11. This is the strategy that wins leagues if you're able to get this done. What an amazing show. What an amazing show today. If anybody is watching like last second and you're hearing me now and you didn't watch this show. This show's got a lot packed in it. And maybe partly because I'm concussed right now. We don't know. NFL draft order. Let's take a look at it. So, first overall, the Bears. Second overall, the Texans. I'm just quality checking what I got. Cardinals 3, Colts 4, Seahawks 5, Lions 6, Raiders 7, Falcons 8, Panthers 9, Eagles 10, Tennessee 11, Texans 12. Okay, let's do this. Let's move this over here. Okay, so we got that. There's the 10. So we got what do we say? We got Tennessee 11, Texans 12, Jets 13. Okay. Let me add a thing of text here. So we got 11 Tennessee, Houston, Jets. Tennessee 12 is Houston, 13 is the New York Football Jets. God, the Jets have a great pick. Jets have such a good team. They're such a good landing spot. To have the number 13 overall pick on top of everything they have, the potential. I mean, they could use that to trade for the signal caller if they wanted. So that's why I believe the Jets ultimately will be in good shape. That's such a great spot to be in. The Jets are a phenomenal landing spot for a quarterback. I don't think people realize they have that pick. Most people, when you talk to them, I mean, I even forgot, just looking at it, I forgot. I'm like, oh my God, the Jets still have that pick. Unbelievable. The Jets are on their way. The Jets are the next Bengals. They're a quarterback away from being the Cincinnati Bengals. Pittsburgh's got the 17. So here's the remaining draft order so far. Let me put this on screen while I'm editing it. Pittsburgh, and who's 18? Who's 18? 18 is it's Lions, then Bucks. Lions, Bucks, Seahawks. So 18 Lions, 19 Tampa Bay, 20 Seattle, 21, 22, 23. Let's go. I love NFL draft season. I'm so pumped. Chargers are 21. LAC. 22. Ravens, 23 Minnesota. Baltimore, Minnesota. Let me update this for you guys. You can see it as I go. So here's the draft order. I love that we're doing this. We had the top 10 on here for the longest time, and we didn't have the rest of it. So let's talk the whole big picture every time instead of doing this little piecemeal thing. Jacksonville 24. All right. New York Jets 25. And then obviously some TBA here upcoming. New York Jets or Giants 26. So then obviously Cowboys 26, Bills 27, Dallas 26, Bills 27, Buffalo 27, and then we got 28, 29. Let's just see. Niners don't have their pick, right? So hold on. 30, 30, 31, 32. Okay. So let's fill this out. Let me hit save here. This is the draft order, the remaining draft order. Part of me wants to put 2 lists here. Let's go 11. Let's go 22. Let's do 2 lists here so we can make them a little bit bigger. So we'll delete this up to 22. And we'll make this from 23 on. Pardon me while I do all this on the fly. 23 on. All right, there we go. So we got that. We got that. We're going to move this over. Move this over a little bit here. Let's do this. Lions, Raiders, Falcons, Panthers, Eagles, okay. So 28 is placeholder Bengals, placeholder Broncos, placeholder KC, placeholder Eagles. So we'll leave those open right now because we don't really know. Eagles. Does that mean the NFL thinks the Eagles are playing KC? Huh? counting out the Bills or the Bengals? Are we NFL? We'll see if it is scripted. If it ends up being the Philadelphia Eagles versus KC, we know the NFL is scripted. All right, NFL draft order. Yeah, that's looking good. That's looking good. Having it all out here. I'm out of here. Y'all enjoy yourselves. Thank you, Ty Lee. Appreciate you being here. What did Ty Lee say? What if I missed Ty Lee saying? Ty Lee. Let's see. Ty Lee says not to be a Debbie Downer. Let's see here. Pluto is even further than Mars. Ty Lee, Pluto is even further than Mars. Pluto is technically not a planet, but it's like a dwarf planet, so it depends on how you want to define it. Appreciate you, Ty Lee. Keep coming back. Keep bringing the gems. Everybody give Kylie a fire emoji on his way out the door. No pay. It's my footage. Ty Lee, bring the footage, please. And Ty Lee, you want to call up? Call up. Phone lines are open. We're going to take a couple phone calls and we're going to get out of here. But here's the NFL draft order. I love that we got it all laid out now. 2022 NFL draft. There we go. Bears have the number 1 pick. We don't need that announcement anymore. Draft order. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. God, I'm hyped. I'm hyped. Just having this up on the screen, I'm hyped. I'm hyped. Look at that. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Is it not? I'm such a OCD perfectionist with the alignment and how I'm live right now and I'm like, instead of talking, let me just fix this. I hit my head. So I'm a little bit dazed right now. I'm a little bit confused, but that's okay. Here we go. Perfectly in line. Beautiful. I can sit on this screen all day long. I love my job. I love working for you. I work for you. This is what I do for a living. I'm so blessed. I just want to tell you I don't tell you guys how much I appreciate you. I couldn't do what I do if it wasn't for you that come watch me every single. We got 100 people in here still. It's the off season. Got 100 people in here. What better show? I'm sitting right here looking at the NFL draft order as long as I want to, talking about this with you as long as we want to. Phone lines are open. We can talk about the NFL draft till our heart's content until Miss Smitty comes in here and says, "Where's the dinner?" It's 6:38 p.m. Phoenix, Arizona time, bro. Where's the dinner? You know, I sit here and talk about this all day long. In fact, we need to put a Bijan graphic. Let's steal it from the Moon Man list.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men.
Okay.
Loads dropping.
We'll steal a Bijan graphic. We'll put Bijan right here. We'll put Bijan right here. We need to get a Gibbs graphic.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Space Monsters.
I'm sorry, I just had to watch that play out one more time. God, I'm so excited about this year. Is anybody else as excited as I am about the NFL draft, fantasy football? We got Gibbs. We'll put Gibbs right here. We'll put Gibbs behind Bijan. Make it look real. Look at that. This looks beautiful. Let's go get Charbonnet, shall we? We'll leave him hanging.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Charbonnet, follow me. Space monsters. Charbonnet. Okay, Charbonnet. Put Charbonnet right here. This guy's going to be a glorious monster. Absolute menace for defenses. Just a menace. All right, put him here. Put him behind Bijan. Unbelievable. Looks amazing. Who's not excited about this? I'm so excited about this. NFL draft season. Phone calls. Couple phone calls. I'm out.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
All right, let's do 1 or 2 phone calls and we're out of here. Dial in 602-635-36. Wait till Brees is on that Marsmen list, bro.
Get breached. Get breached. Get breached.
The tripod, also likened to pyramids in ancient Egypt, are constructed using Burrow or Hertz, Chase or a JB Hull or Walker.
The stack above all stacks. It's time to drop the pancake emojis in the live chat.
Woo! You know.
Unbelievable. I'm so amped. I feel like we can't miss on all these. This feels like the most glorious list of breakouts. This feels easy. I feel like we're sleepwalking straight into this season. I haven't felt more confident about picks and breakouts and calls in a long time. Like we're rocking it. We're rocking it. This alone right here has got me amped.
He's on a shuttle to Mars.
I mean, give me a break. All right, dial in. 1 phone call, we're out of here. 1 phone call, and we're out of here. Give it to me. The best call. Bring a great question. The show is counting down. Dial into the show. Who do we got? You got 60 seconds. Dial in. 83 of you in here. Punch that thumb up button. We've only got 71 thumbs up. Sam dropping a super chat. Sam says Bijan equals Ricky Williams 2.0. For people that don't know or played football during the Ricky Williams era, that might not sound like a compliment. He means it as a compliment. Ricky Williams was phenomenal. Left football early, was an absolute monster, kind of a head case, but was unbelievable. Logan, you're live on the fantasy. Oh God, Logan, call back one more time. I don't know how I hung up on you. Is there a late show tonight? What do I look like, Travis? What do I look like, Travis? I won't be mad. Do I look like someone's gonna leave you hanging at midnight? Of course, we're going live. We're probably going live to discuss. I don't know. Are there any? Maybe we do some drafts. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty, by the way. Match up to $100 on your first deposit. You drop $100, Underdog's going to give you $100. You drop $50, Underdog's going to match it and give you $50 if you're a new depositor on your first deposit. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Get it done. Logan, call back again. I missed your call. There we go. Logan, you're live. Make it good. Don't drop bombs and ruin the monetization of the video, but give me some fire.
No bombs dropped, my man. Don't worry.
Logan, give me some fire. End this show in proper fashion.
All right. Well, I know I love your Moon Man list. First of all, you're doing great. But what do you think about any like Moon Man tight end? There was a lot of rookie tight ends coming out last year. You got the guy in Arizona. I know Indy had a good one. Are you forecasting any of those guys to blow up this year?
100% feel like a tight end is in line to potentially hit the Moon Man list. I won't say who yet because the Moon Man is very confidential, but I would say there most certainly could be a Moon Man tight end on the list. The thing is, we're running out. We're gonna have 10. I'm gonna add 2 Moon Men potentially by the weekend, so we're gonna be at 10. We had 15 last year. I think 18 is a suitable number. I think we shifting Joe Burrow and Chase over to Marsmen and not having them on the Moon Men list is a very appropriate move because they're too big a names to be a Moon Man because Moon Man's about value, but Marsmen's about crushing your competition. And Joe Burrow, even in the second round, is crushing your competition. Jamar Chase at number 1, number 2, number 3 overall is crushing your competition. And most people are going to balk at you drafting Chase at 1, 2, or 3. Most people will balk at you drafting Burrow at 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 overall. So they deserve to be on some list like the Marsmen list. I think we nailed it. I think putting those 2 on the list with Bijan feels like the best Marsman list we could ever come up with.
He's on a shuttle to Mars.
The first 3.
Marsman.
The first 3 are unbelievable. And it hasn't touched our Moon Man list, so except for Bijan's on both. We have an ability to add 8 more players by the start of the season. That's not a lot, but then again, 8's a lot. We got 10 on there now. Feels great. 8 more will be good. I don't want to put more than 18. I feel like it'll cloud it up and it won't mean as much. So 18 Moon Men, that gets historically locked in. We don't change it throughout the year, take people off. We'll put red X's on injured players and prayer emojis and such. Hopefully we have no injuries to our big guns. But 8 more players will drop after the 2 I add this weekend. Marsman gets 3 more players, and maybe we do some other list. And Ron Navy had a great idea that I let you all vote on one of the Moon Man, and we have a following geared voted Moon Man that I'll be able to vote in too. I can vote on it too, but you guys vote on maybe the final Moon Man or one of the Moon Men. So do you have a nomination?
I think Chig on Tennessee, I think that guy is going to be a monster going down the stretch. I think he's got athleticism and deep playability. And then, I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of young tight ends that came in last year, and it was such a weak position last year that there's some opportunity there to see some, really good value in, the deep late rounds. Maybe not like a Moon Man, but, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Okonkwo is good. I think if you guys want it, we'll figure out how to navigate that and add a Moon Man. That's by way of the people. But I think definitely a good idea by Ron to drop a follower voted and approved Moon Man, and we'll have a box around it. It's like follower voted. So you guys, when you see it, you'll know, hey, we did that. And I have a feeling it's going to be in line with what I think too. Like we'll pick somebody probably that we all love. But Okonkwo could be one of them, I suppose. He's not the tight end I'm thinking of, but there could be a tight end on the Moon Man list for sure.
I mean, McBride looks real good down the stretch. He looked really good. And Ertz is getting old.
Yeah.
In that offense, I mean, they love passing the tight end. I know you're a Cardinal fan, so.
Yeah, and Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts busted so badly, and his QB situation still is so cloudy that he's going to drop into some value territory to the point where he could be a Moon Man, even though he's an obvious breakout candidate. How many people are going to buy into him? How much value? In the chat, where would everybody draft Kyle Pitts in redraft? Drop a draft slot. Don't just give me a round. Say whatever 0.6, 0.7. Give me a draft. I want to know where you guys, without me influencing you at all, just throw a number out. What pick would you draft Kyle Pitts right now? Let's see what the chat thinks, and this will kind of determine he's doubted enough that he makes a lot of sense as a potential candidate. Let's see. Greg Dulcich potentially says Ian. McBride, AC likes McBride. Bryce Young could be a moon man, says Sam. We'll see where he lands and the measurables and the pro days and combines and all that. So Sam's saying 6.11. Ian's saying 7.1. Slat is saying 11.6. Gar is saying 0.0. Blake said 17.2. Swaggy says 5. Terry says 5.7. So to me,
I think 5.
To me, I think
5 sounds about right.
Based on all the numbers, let's just bump it up to 6. About 5.10 to 6.10. That's where his ADP looks based on my guesstimation right now. I'm pretty good at guessing ADPs, especially when I get some votes like that. You can kind of average them together. I'd say his ADP on a mock draft platform right now, if we started drafting, would level in around 6.1 to 6.10. That's Moonman territory. Like, we're talking about a guy that was going in the 3rd round last year, and it was a mistake. It was a debacle. And there's no for sure pathway yet without the quarterback upgrade of saying, like, he's going to absolutely crush it, from 5th or 6th round value. We don't know. He could disappoint. Remember how bad he was. At the same time, the majority of that bad play before he got injured was under the command of Mariota and a very, very poor passing attack. So Ritter being in there, even though I don't love Ritter yet, maybe he grows on me or whatever. I admit there's possibility of that, but I don't think so at this point. But he's good enough to get the ball to Kyle Pitts. I think he could develop. Pitts is very, very doubted. I think 6.1 to 6.10 will be his early ADP. That's pretty decent. He could be the tight end 2, He could be the tight end 2 or 3. It's tough to say.
He easily could be.
He could be. I'm not saying he will be, but he for sure could be. And that's not dangerous territory.
Look towards his younger receivers too later in the year. I feel like Mariota, it was just like, I don't know. They just ran the ball down the gut the whole game, and then he wasn't really seeking out his receivers. So.
One guy that could crack the Moon Man list, and you guys get privileged information. If you're on the show, you're loyal. You're going to get little things dropped here and there, and you might have a little inkling on what I might do or what I'm thinking. A player that goes through my mind an awful lot matches a pattern on this list, and I'll see if you can guess.
The Moon Men, dropping loads.
What wide receiver would fit the bill here and fit the pattern here?
Space Monsters.
Sophomore wide receiver.
Jameson Williams.
Well, he's a potential, but London's very, very high likelihood of being a Moon Man, and he fits the bill. We've got all sophomore wide receivers.
The Moon Man
sitting on this list.
Changing loads in outer space.
Changing of the guard. I say it all the time. I'm going to continue to say it. It's probably the most commonly used phrase I'm going to use all offseason, and for a reason, by design. Beating a dead horse with the term because hold on. Beating a dead horse with the term because I want people to understand what I mean by it. I'm not just saying it to have fun and be like, oh, some new guys are coming in. I'm being very serious that the changing of the guard is happening on a major level across all positions, not just running back, not just wide receiver, not just tight end, quarterback, tight end, running back. Look at the quarterbacks. Josh Allen, young. Jalen Hurts, young. Joe Burrow, young. Patrick Mahomes still got a lot of time. Fields, young. Trevor Lawrence, young. There's not an old quarterback in the top 5 or 6, and that's redraft. You look at the running backs, I'm taking out guys like Henry and Eckler when I'm predicting the outcome, not draft value. I can't stand when people don't listen to what I'm saying and say, Smitty, I can't believe you draft Gibbs and Bijan over Eckler. I wouldn't. You're not paying attention to what I'm saying. I'm saying Gibbs and Bijan outscore Eckler and Henry, but by no means do you draft them ahead of Eckler and Henry. And I would even draft Eckler before I draft those guys and make a trade for Bijan or Or, in some cases, I'd say I'd rather not risk not getting Bijan and I'll just take Bijan. But like in the case of Gibbs, I'd draft Eckler, trade for Gibbs and some because I'm smart about it. And Eckler's still going to be a monster in week 1, 2, 3, probably the first month of the season. But he's 28 years old. He's going to drop off. It's all about understanding when to move. Buy low, sell high, like stocks, trade when a stock's high, get another stock while it's on the low. And it's like a changing of the guards happening. The running backs are getting replaced. Cook's going to be out. Henry's going to be out. Eckler's on his way out. Nick Chubb on his way out. All the big name older RBs are on their way out. Who's rising to the top? It's just an unbelievable, iconic unison movement by the youth of fantasy football, from Bijan, Walker, ETN, Breece Hall, Gibbs, all these running backs floating to the top, the old guys and old dogs floating down and out, wide receivers. I've been talking about quarterbacks and running backs. Wide receivers, look at the Moon Men list. It is all wide receiver sophomores. Garrett Wilson, Olave, Watson, probably London.
Space Monsters.
It's the changing of the guards happening before our very eyes. And soon Kittle and Kelsey will fall out, and Andrews, and it will be Kyle Pitts. It will be potentially a Okonkwo. It will potentially be McBride, those guys. Who knows? The changing of the guard is happening, and it's happening right now. Not in a year from now, right now. You get on board, especially in Dynasty, or you're missing out. And Jameson Williams, too. Like, I'm not putting any hate on Jameson Williams. I love Jameson Williams. I think I don't think St. Brown's locked in
for opportunity.
Yeah,
for sure. I hear what you're saying. There's a ton of room for opportunity. Like amongst all the positions, like you said, I think quarterbacks kind of might be settled going forward. I don't really know a ton about the rookie draft, but coming out, running backs, and then like I said, those tight ends that came out last year, they always have a hard rookie year. And if you look at last year, teams that had the Kelseys, they moved on in their leagues, and I just that's the only thing. The reason I brought it up with you is because you're so good at like digging into that stuff, and I feel like there's a lot of gold to be mined there in the tight end position next year.
Yes, sir. There always is.
I appreciate you.
And it was such a deep tight end pool walking into the season, and it didn't feel deep by midseason. So weird. That's the changing of the guard in full effect.
Yeah.
So just know that if you had rookie picks, let's say you had a lot of top 5. You had like 1, 2, 4, 5 in 2022, and you landed these wide receivers and Walker and Hall, or one of them, and then you've got the 1.1, the 1.2, and the 1.4, and the 1.6 this year. You literally could build a team that has like 4 or 5 top 20 overall players, top 18 overall players from these 2 draft classes. You could literally remove the entire NFL and have just sophomores and rookies, which is why I have my super rookie rankings at thefantasyfootballshow.com. My super rookie rankings are only the rookies and sophomore class. And they're the most phenomenal rankings because they get you in a dynasty mindset to look at the youth movement. And so you could literally draft the best team in fantasy football targeting only those players from the sophomore and rookie class.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's a fun time to be in this stuff.
Yeah. All right, pal. Appreciate you, Logan.
I appreciate you.
Fire call, bro. Fire call. All right, later.
Later, bud.
I'm out of here. I'll be back tonight. Appreciate you all that super chatted. We got another super chat here from Silva. Silva dropping a $2 hauler. Silva says, how about Isaiah Likely as a tight end? Yeah, absolutely. Likely's going to have a lot of intrigue. Question will be who's quarterbacking. Question will be, does he earn a spot? Is there room for him? It definitely feels like there's some obstacles, but I absolutely love Likely and his skill set. Super chatters of the day, appreciate you. The number one super chatters of the day were Ian and Sam. Appreciate Ian and Sam dropping $5 haulers each. Terry Roberts dropping a $2. Sam dropping another $1.99, so technically being the highest super chatter of the day. Sam to the moon. Appreciate Sam. Smitty, take a lap, whatever you want. You get it all, Sam. Appreciate you. And then Christian dropping that final $2 holler. Thank you all. You guys keep the lights on. I work for you. Best job in the whole wide world. Best job in the whole wide world. I honestly, I don't even feel like I go to work. People say, Smitty, you deserve a vacation. I don't want a vacation. Like this is like breathing to me. I don't go to work. I don't work. I just live. You know, I urge you all to find a passion too, where you feel the same way. I couldn't think of a better job. I don't feel like I go to work. I just feel like I get up and breathe. And that's the best way to live your life. And I just want to thank you all for helping me grow this channel and do what I love. And I that's why I go live whenever I can. I love hanging out with you guys. I work for you. I truly believe that. I always keep that in mind. As we grow, I want it. It's you and me. It's just not me and a co-host talking and you guys bantering in the background and us not paying attention to you. This show by design is me and you, because I want to acknowledge you. I want to talk to you. I want this show to be about us, not about you watching me yell and scream with another co-host. We're taking this thing to the top, and I appreciate everybody being a part of it. We're almost at 17.6K. We'll be there by the weekend. And I hope we're at 35, 30K, 25, whatever it is. It doesn't really matter the number, but the growth helps us do bigger and better things, grow and reach more people, get stronger, have more giveaways, have more sponsorships, have more that just ends up like, I imagine this coming seasons when we get a lot of these giveaway things, these opportunities. You know, we'll be having like autograph helmets and things like that to give away. So I'm getting sponsorships in line for 2023. Hopefully a lot more giveaways. And announcing a re-upping of Grindhouse, by the way, my most favorite sponsor that I've ever had in terms of like an apparel or, you know, like we obviously love our Underdog partnership. We are Team Underdog yet again for 2023. Underdog 2023. We are full go. It's the only platform we talk about here, Underdog 2023. And then guess what else? To the moon. Guess what else? Grindhouse is back for yet another year. That is in the works right now. Grindhouse is my favorite apparel company on planet Earth. And if I was to show you some of the, where's my shirt? Where's my this right here. This company right here is such an amazing company. Not just amazing apparel, Grindhouse, but an amazing company. This company is, we've been giving back. I don't know if you guys have been watching the stories, but we've been giving out $100 here, $100 there, walking around the streets of Phoenix, handing homeless people apparel and a $100 bill. And Grindhouse is a big reason why this is happening too. So continue to watch that, but we're still doing that. I walk out whenever I leave. I'll see somebody on the streets. I feel like they need something. We'll give them a shirt. We'll give them whatever. These are amazing. This hoodie right here is the Beast. They're all vintage movie tees and hoodies from 40 years ago. The Beast, Godzilla, The Thing, Frankenstein. They're all amazing movie tees and hoodies, and from 40 years ago on the cult classic movies, and the product is absolutely phenomenal. So Grindhouse to the moon. Please follow them. Please support them. They are a part of this family right now, and I hope that remains that way for the next decade. I love Grindhouse. Here's a little thing on Grindhouse. So go to grindhouse.com, grndhaus.com. Grindhouse Supply on Instagram. Absolutely love those guys. I will see you all. I'm live Monday through Friday, baby. Every single Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Mitch, appreciate you, Mitch. He said this yesterday. Mama Smitty to the moon. Returning old pieces of meat like it's nothing. Live whenever news breaks. Live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Live Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at midnight, which is tonight. So I will see you all tonight. Peace out. Hit that thumb up button on your way out the door, please. It helps the channel. And leave a comment, for goodness sakes. Hold on one second. We are slowing down to a point where a lot of people, like, they aren't like you and me where they come in and they want fantasy and news all day long. This is a lifestyle. This is not just a fantasy football preparation show. This is like your daily listen, your NFL news. You're working, you have me in your earpiece. There are a certain number of people, and we're growing that community because there's different communities. This is all about growing this business, growing this channel. And there are people that will come for fantasy. There are people that will come for news. We collect them all. And part of my job is during this off season is to grow the population of people that are looking for constant NFL news, daily shows. They're at work. They're not having the best day. They have me in their ear and they're listening to the daily show. That's the population that I'm working on growing right now. And you're a part of that because you're here right now. But as we're growing this community of avid year-round listeners, my comment section dies down a lot. I literally can get to almost 100% of every comment on every new video. So if I didn't answer your question, or you've got a question you're dying to ask me, or you just have a comment, you just want to get a thumbs up from me because you're having a bad day and you say, Smitty, what's up? And I say, what's up, bro? And you just get that little communication between you and I, because that's what this show's about. I answer pretty much 99% of all my comments that drop in the first 48 hours of a video dropping. So ask me a question, leave me a comment. It helps the channel's engagement. I'll see you all tonight. Thanks again for the super chats, guys. Appreciate you. Joe Burrow, ha ha ha. Joe Burrow, ha ha ha. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate you, Adam. Appreciate your comment. Thank you, Mitch. Appreciate you. Thank you, Travis. Terry. Adam, you're the guy. You're the man. You're him. Star. Swaggy. Danger. I said Travis. Ian. Meat Missile is out there doing Meat Missile things. Appreciate you, DJ Meat Missile. Isaac Moore. Appreciate you, Isaac. Glad you're back. Casey. What's up, Casey? Terry Roberts on patrol. Terry, love you, pal. Anthony. Where's Ron Navy? Ron Navy, we need you. Matt. See you all tonight.
Kenneth Skywalker.
Later, Marty. Appreciate you, Marty. Appreciate you, Danger.
Kenneth Lightsaber Swinging Skywalker.
RGB, appreciate you. Later.